Super Rink for the final day of the NAPHL Showcase. This game features the Junior Coyotes 18U versus the 18U of the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. My name is Jeff Lenz. I'll be calling the action for you this morning on NAHL TV. It's been an absolute thrill calling these games for you this weekend. This is my last game of the tournament. The Flyers wearing their black with white numbers and orange nameplates. The Coyotes are wearing their whites with dark sleeves and red numbers. 17-minute periods, 1 minute intermission between the first and the second, and 8.5 minutes to end the first half, and then a halftime break of about 10 minutes. Depends on how long the Zamboni takes to clean the ice. Then 8.5 minutes to wrap up the second period, another minute intermission, and then 17 minutes third period as we are underway. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Here's Gibbs bringing the puck, handling the puck. It's the puck knocked away. Here comes the Flyers going the other way. Here's Norton grabbing it. And we have an offsides call right away. 15 seconds into the hockey game. We'll have 17 minutes to wrap up the third. If it's tied after regulation, it's another minute intermission, and then a 4-minute overtime, 3-on-3. And then if there's no winner after that, it is a shootout. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Here's Perkis across the center ice and gets puck knocked away. Goes under the stick of Olsen for Phoenix. Number 8 is Chase Olsen. Puck taken away by the Flyers. There's a possible chance, and it goes wide of the net. The starting goalie for this game is number 55 for the Coyotes. That's Austin Gerhardt. And the starting goalie for Philly, number 32, Matthew Salita. This is the last game for both teams. The Coyotes are going to be on a plane right after this game to head back down to Scottsdale. That's where they're based. Asked one of the coaches before the game if the impact of the Arizona Coyotes leaving the state for Utah, has it had much of an impact yet? He said it hasn't happened yet, but he is a little concerned for a couple of years down the road. If it happens again, it's a shot and a save made by Salita. A shot from number 7, Andrew Watterson. The coach said, again, he said the impact hasn't been felt yet. He's worried about 2 years down the road, but he said they're very hopeful. Within 5 years, they'll have a new expansion team, and everything will be okay after that. Let's hope so, because we know the feeling about up here in Minnesota, know the feeling what happens when you lose an NHL team. We're very fortunate to get one back 7 years later. 15:20 remaining first period. No score very early between the Flyers and the Coyotes. Puck's going to go down. That's going to be an icing. Coyotes play at the Scottsdale Ice Den in Scottsdale, Arizona. That is their home rink. Puck's going to go back down into the Coyote zone. Rodriguez will play this. Taken away by the Flyers. Tangle for it by the net. Kept in the zone by Westerman. And we're going to have a whistle. Face-off will be in the neutral zone in front of the Coyotes bench. Face-off won by the Flyers. Here comes the Coyotes on the move. Park had it briefly, had it knocked away. Here's a chance here. Shot and a save made by Salita. Shot was taken by Himinovich for the Coyotes. Evan Himinovich. There's an offsides call on the Flyers, so the face-off will be, once again, neutral zone in front of us. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Dean Perkis will get to the puck for the Coyotes. We'll bang it off the boards. And he gets it back. Wraps it around the boards. Played by number 8. That is Chase Olsen. Here comes Ethan Park. Bring it up for the Coyotes. Pass it to Gibbs. Gibbs will take a shot, and it's high and wide. Goes all the way down. Played by Gibbs. It'll go into the Philly zone. Here's McCosh. Passes it over to Watterson. There's a chance here for the Flyers. A 1-on-3. He's going to try and push. It'll be played over to the corner by Gerhardt. An interception here by Max Harlan in the far corner, played by number 60. That is Everett James. There's a chance coming for the Flyers. Poked away, shot wide. Shot by Gregorio, shot save made by Gerhardt. And Gerhardt makes another save. Puck goes into the corner, played by Rodriguez. Here come the Coyotes on the move. Number 3, Camden Babin. Goes into the corner, played by the Flyers. By their number 3, Nash Grant. 12 minutes remaining, first period. No score between the Coyotes and the Flyers. Mullins puts it into the corner. Played by Gore. Over to Mickelson. Mickelson crosses. Pass it back over to Wilcoxon. As we have a broken stick on the ice. Shot clubbed in the air by Gerhardt. So we'll have a whistle. Waiting for the face-off. Won by the Coyotes. Here's Olsen. Wrap it around the net. Over to Herrick. Herrich. I'm not trying to butcher names. If I am, I apologize. Off of Olsen's skate. Back over to Perkis. Perkis over to Herrich. Gets it over to 13. That is Tate Mickey. Here's Perkis. Harrods keeps it in the zone. Coming up on 10:20 remaining here in the first period. Here comes 14 for the Flyers. That is Camden Albright. Intercepted by Perkis. Tries to get it to Gibbs for the Coyotes. Perkis gets it back. He's on the move. Passes it over to McCosh. McCosh puts it towards the net. Shot save made by Salida. Salida makes a couple of more saves, and we have a face-off. Face-off will be to the left of Salida. Face-off won by the Flyers. Westerman wraps it around the boards. Puck goes back into the Coyote zone, back in the neutral zone. Here comes Ethan Park. Puck checked away, picked up by Himotovich. There's a chance here for Himotovich. Shot, save made by Salida. Puck goes high but stays in play. Back in the neutral zone and back into the Coyote zone. Watterson will play it for the Coyotes. Intended for McCosh. No icing. 9 minutes remaining. First period. Still no score. Gibbs swings and misses on the pass. Gets it back. Back over to Watterson. Goes over by the Flyers bench. Here is Westerman. Gets it into the neutral zone. Back for Watterson for the Coyotes. Matthews for the Flyers. Gives chase. Westerman gets it back. Wraps it around the boards. Watterson gets to it for the Coyotes. Flyers keep it in. Here it is. McCosh. Here comes Harlan. And it's going to be an offsides call on the Coyotes. Past the halfway point of the first period. Still no score. Face-off will be neutral zone in front of the Flyers bench. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Here's Gore. Have a whistle. Crease came loose. Face-off won by the Flyers. 2-on-2 shot save made by Gearhart. Gregorio puts it down. That's going to be an offsides because Gregorio couldn't keep the puck in the Blues in the offensive zone. Face off in the neutral zone right in front of us. Won by the Coyotes. Puck taken away by Grant. Puck's going to go down. Icing is the call. So back to the other end we go. Face-off will be to the right of Salida. Face-off won by the Flyers, but it's kept in the zone by the Coyotes. Puck goes high in the air, right in front of the net. Save made by Salita. Face-off to the right of Salita. Face-off won by the Flyers. There's a chance, 3-on-1. Great job by the Coyotes to remove the puck from right in front of the crease. Albright tries to get it towards the net. Nobody home. Here comes Wilcoxon and the Coyotes. 3-on-2. Here's a chance. Shot, save. And another shot against the side of the net. Both goalies standing tall so far here in this first period. Under 7 minutes left here in the first. Still no score. Flyers had a 3-on-1. Didn't get a shot off. Coyotes had a 3-on-2 going the other way. They only got one decent shot off. Goalies looking good. Here comes the Coyotes on the move. Chase Olsen going to take a shot. Save made by Salita, and he will cover. He will. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Olsen. Shot towards the net. Save made by Salita. Shot by number 92. That would be Brady Harich from Scottsdale, Arizona. Most of the kids are from Arizona. Rodriguez, those from Richland, Washington. Carlin's from Wyoming. Park is from Red Deer, Alberta. Face-off won by the Flyers. Puck goes underneath the stick of 49, Ryan Nichols. Goes into the near corner. Perkis gets to it for the Coyotes. Here comes Perkis. He gets it across into the zone. Perkis slips and falls because, after all, ice is slippery. Puck's going to go down. No icing. Here is Gisler for the Coyotes. That's to Harich. Still going to be icing, even though Harich did touch it, but he was just to the left of the red line. So we'll have a face-off to the right of Gearhart. 5:20 left, first period, no score. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Wilcoxon gets forced into the boards by Koch for Philly. Can't keep it in the zone. It'll go back out. Grant will get to it for Philly. Back into the Philly zone. Koch will get to it for the Coyotes. Wrapped around the boards by Himovich. Play by Gore. Philly keeps it in the zone. There's a chance. Shot wide. Here it is. Hoyshik. Gregorio will put a puck wide of the net. Coming up on 4 minutes left in the first period. Puck was right in front of the net. Played by James. James is the leading scorer on his team entering the tournament. He had 39 points. Intercepted. Here's a chance by the Coyotes. Here's James. Pass shot wide. Couldn't get a clean look. Puck goes back into the neutral zone. Gore gets to it. Plays it to James. Puck taken away by the Flyers. It goes down. Is it going to be icing? It is. Will be icing, so we'll go back down to the other end. Face-off will be to the right of Salida. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Coyotes keep it in for a moment. Back in the neutral zone, giving chase to the Flyers. Number 4, Tyler Brown. Gets wrapped up by Perkis. Here comes Will Coxon. He's on the move. Wrapped around the boards. Gets it over to 22. That's Mickelson. 2:15 left in the period. Still no score. Will Coxon over to Chase Olsen. Barely in the zone. Will Coxon is getting battled with it by Tyler Brown. Flyers win that battle, but it's kept in the zone. Here's a chance here for the Coyotes. Shot by Will Coxon. A save made by Salida. And the puck hits the net and goes out of play. Face-off will be to the right of Salida. Not a bad turnout for an 8:30 a.m. game. Face-off won by the Flyers. Puck's going to go down, and we're going to come back because it's going to be icing. Back down we go, and back the other way we go. Another icing call. Two icings in the last 10 seconds. Down to a minute 47 remaining. First period. Still no score between the Coyotes and the Flyers. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Puck gets past Watterson and back into the Coyote zone. Flyers putting a little press on. Pass attempt hits the ref. Here's a shot over the net. Radke tries to keep it in. He actually did keep it in, but nobody home. Here comes Harich. Puck goes into the corner, coming up on 1:15 remaining here in the period. Harich. Whoa, almost intercepted by Nichols. Harich gets it, gets met at center ice by Gargon. Puck goes towards the net. Covered by Salida. Under a minute remaining here in the period. Each team has had a decent number of chances. Goalies have looked good so far. Face-off this time will be to the left of Salida. Face-off won by the Coyotes, but it's going to go all the way into the Coyote zone. Under 40 to go in the period. Tangled in the corner. Flyers are on the move. "14 seconds left in the period. Flyers trying to get one last chance before the end of the period. And we're going to have a whistle. And we're going to have a penalty here at the end of the first period. So it's going to be on the Coyotes. On Jackson Gore, 2 minutes for slashing. This penalty at 16:54. Face off to the left of Gerhardt. Face-off won by the Flyers. One chance probably before the end of the period. Shot by Albrecht. Too high. That'll end the first period. No score. But the Flyers will be on the power play to start the second period. More bonding going on between the Coyotes and the Flyers to end the period. We'll take a 1 minute intermission. We'll be back in a minute.
At the end of the first period, it remains scoreless. Coyotes 0, Philly Flyers 0. Shot totals in the first period. Philadelphia tallies.
Here for the start of the second period. Flyers are still on the power play. We'll have a minute 53 on the power play to start the period. The first half of the second period is underway, 8.5 minutes. That's what's left in the first half. Gonna go all the way down into the Flyer zone. Play by Salida. Here's Nichols. Under a minute left in the power play. Back up top for Gargone. Shot in traffic. Save made by Gerhardt. Face off one. Coyotes. I mean, Puck will go down into the Flyer zone. 39 seconds left on the man advantage. Played by 84. That is William Gregorio. Goes over to Brown. Back to Gregorio. Here comes Mullins. Not the way back to Gregorio. To Segrist. 5 seconds left on the power play. Penalty time is over. Underneath Gregorio's stake. Coyotes at full strength. Knocked away by the Flyers. Here comes Brown on the move. Will pull up to Segrist, excuse me. Picked up by the Coyotes. Goes back to center ice. Played by Brown. Back over to Grant. Coming up on 6 minutes left here in the second period, in the first half, excuse me. Tangle for it right in front of us. Checking the boards. Shot, save made by Salita. Someone's missing a glove. Whistle blows. Albright's missing a glove. He'll get it back now. Puck goes out of play. Face-off won by the Flyers. Here is Curson. That's going to go down. Played by the Flyers. Coyotes get to it and knock it away. Here comes the Coyotes going the other way. Here is Phelps. He'll pull up. Gets checked. Was high up. Stays in. Curson laid the smackdown on Phelps. Shot. Glove save made by Salita. 4:50 left first half. Face-off will be to the left of Salita. Face-off won by the Flyers. Wraps around the boards. Back in the neutral zone. Goes under to Perkis' stick. He's in the corner. Here it comes. Flyers wrapping around. On net. Save made by Gerhardt. Nice check into the boards by Gregorio. Puck goes off someone on the bench and out of play. Face-off won by the Yotes. Puck's gonna go down. They wave off icing. Gregorio gets to it for the Flyers. On the other way we go. Chase Olsen. Excuse me. That's wrong number 8. That was a number 8 for the Flyers. Okay, my apologies. Here's Nichols. Puck goes the other way. Coming up on 3.5 minutes left to go in the half. Puck goes high and out of play. Almost hits the poor PA announcer in the head. Face-off will be to the right of Gerhardt. Face-off won by the Flyers. Shot towards the net, wide. Went off the side of the net. Right in front, Gerhardt's trying to cover. The Flyers are poking it out of his glove, and the whistle blows. And the crease got loose. Face-off won by the Yotes. Wrap around. It's a to Gibbs. And we have a collision between Salida and Himovich, and the crease goes way loose. .301 left. Face-off back in the neutral zone, right in front of us. New combatants. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Puck goes into the corner, wraps around the boards. Play by the Flyers. Puck's going to go down. And wave off icing. Here's Gisler. Poke checked away by Kirsten. Here's Gibbs with it. And find an open Nichols and nobody home. He's going to wrap around again. Played by Gerhardt. There's Gibbs again. Going back into the corner. Matthews for the Flyers. Picked up by Gibbs. Here's Harlan. Back to Gibbs. Gibbs. Intercepted by the Flyers. 2:15 left in the first half. There's Koch. Norton checked into the boards by Watterson. 2 minutes left in the period, in the half, excuse me. Here's Olsen for the Coyotes. Wilcoxon, excuse me. Shot, save made by Salida. Stays in the zone. Here's Olsen. Slapper, blocked by Matthews. His skate got it. We have an offsides call here on the Flyers. About a minute and a half left in the half. Face-off one. The chance here for Coyotes. Shot save made by Salida. And a whistle. Mickelson not too thrilled, having been replaced in the face-off circle, which you're not supposed to make contact before the puck drops. Face-off won by the Flyers. Checked into the boards. Wilcoxon did some damage there. Well, not much damage, but there's a shot attempt by Rodriguez that was blocked by Radke. He gets the puck back. Under a minute remaining here in the first half. There's Brown in the corner, trying to knock it loose. Coyotes get to it. Here comes Park. Leaves it for Babin, and Babin didn't see it either, and we got a whistle. We're going to have a penalty here on the Flyers. It's on Gargone. Coach for the Flyers not happy with the call, and the official is giving it to him right back. This penalty at 8 minutes. For holding. I believe it's holding. Face-off won by the Flyers. Power play will carry over into the second half. Cross-checking is the penalty. 10 seconds left in the period. 10 seconds left in the half. That will wrap it up for the first half. Some more pushing going on. We're scoreless going into halftime. See you in 10. Back for the start of the second half. Coyotes still on the power play for the next minute 20 to start the second half. Here is Harlan. Nikosh. Got it back. Back over to Wilcoxon. Back over to Nikosh. It's back into the neutral zone. Here's Harlan. Under a minute left on the power play. Here's Babin. Back up top for Nikosh. Back to Harlan. Harlan trying to find an opening. Here's Gibbs loses his stick, and now Salita does not have his stick. Shot. Still makes the save to Salita. Loses his stick and makes the glove save. $18 seconds left on the power play. Face-off won by the Flyers. Wrap it around the boards. They're going to be able to keep it in. So far, yes. Gore kept it in. 10 seconds left on the power play. Gets to the Flyers. Hey, it'll get wrapped down. Philly back at full strength. Here's Gore.
Philadelphia, full strength.
Phelps had it poked away. Here come the Flyers. Here's Matthews. He has it poked away by Watterson. Here's Curson for Philly. Center ice. Here's Phelps with a chance. He's going to take a shot. Goes wide. Here's Matthews. Puck was played by Gerhardt at the net. Matthews with a hard hit. Flyers going to wrap it around the boards. Mullins gets to it for the Flyers. Little tangle in the corner. There's Mullins again, going to try again. One-timer by Siegrist. Goes wide. Here's the Flyers. It's Harich. There's a shot save made by Salita. Back at center ice. Here comes Olsen. Here's Mickey. Shot. We're going to have a hand pass here.
Call the ice, hand pass,
Face off in the neutral zone right in front of us. Mickelson versus Norton. Face off. Won by the Flyers. Here's Nichols. A shot attempt. Didn't make it. Four and a half left in the period. Still no score between the Philadelphia Junior Flyers and the Junior Coyotes from Scottsdale, Arizona. There's a possible chance. Nope. Here comes Nichols. Put it in the corner because nobody puts Nichols in the corner. And we're going to have a penalty called here on the Flyers. A cross-check penalty. So back on the power play, the Coyotes go. Second one of the game. Gargan back in the box for a second cross-check. This penalty at 12:52. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Here's Gore. Swing and a miss on a shot. Gets it back, though. One-timer shoots. Save made by Salita. Watterson with the one-timer. There's a chance here for the Flyers. Shot. Save made by Gerhardt. Hoyshik had the chance, couldn't punch it through. Pass goes underneath the legs of Phelps, so the Coyotes have to start over. Under a minute left in the power play. Here's Phelps. Puts the brakes on. Passes it to Gore. Here's Nicholson. Has it knocked away. Here come the Flyers on a shorty chance. Nope. It's going to be dumped in. Here's Mickelson. 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Gibbs has it knocked away. Knocked down into the Coyote zone. 10 seconds left in the power play. Here comes Wilcoxon. Takes a shot and a save made by Salita. Penalty over. Flyers at full strength.
Philadelphia back at full strength.
Here's Harlan. Takes a shot, blocked by Matthews. One-timer shot, save made by Salita, and the crease comes loose. Face-off won by the Flyers. Back in the neutral zone, played by Harris. Picked up by the Flyers. Here comes Matthews. Into the corner, shot, save made by Gerhardt. Here comes Mickey and the Yotes. Here's Perkis. Minute 12 left here in the second period. Here comes an icing call. Back to the other end we go. Here comes Rodriguez, a chance. Pass it to Himovic, and the shot goes wide. Taken away by the Coyotes. Here's Himovic. Shot wide. Hits the ceiling. That doesn't happen very often. Hit the top of the boards in just the right spot. And that ceiling's tough to hit here. It's pretty high up. Face off to the left of Salita. 46.9 seconds left. Face off. Won by the Yotes. Shot by Gibbs. Wide. Watterson keeps it in the zone. They wave off icing. 20 seconds left in the period. Here's Himovic. Gargan tried to hit Himovic, but missed him. Less than 10 left in the period. Here's Gibbs, but one last chance in the period, maybe, perhaps. Here's the Flyers. Shot at the buzzer. Save made by Gerhardt. That's after two periods. No score. We'll see you in a minute. Face off. To start the third period. No score. Been a fun game so far. Little bit of after the whistle bonding going on between the two teams, but other than that, it's been relatively clean. There's only been 3 penalties in this game so far. 2 of them for the Flyers by the same player, Gargon, both for cross-checking, but for the most part, relatively clean for Monday morning. There's a chance here for the Flyers. Shot deflected by Perkis. Nice timing on that. Here's Olsen. Perkis in the corner. Wojcik puts it back into the Coyotes zone. James gets it over to Olsen. Olsen is in the corner again and for James. Back into the corner. James will get it again. Coyotes not able to get the puck out of that corner. Phelps tries to find Harlan. Nobody home. Gregorio puts it back into the Coyote zone. Chance right in front of the net. Shot save made by Gerhardt. Nice job keeping the puck in the zone by Kersen. And Gerhardt covers up again. Here's Wilcoxon, loses the puck, picked up by Matthews. He loses the puck. There's Albright. Still stays in play. Rodriguez fakes the shot. Puts it towards the net. Gloved by Salita. Couple minutes into the third period. Face off, won by the Flyers. Here's Gargon. Rodriguez puts it back into the corner. Here's Babin. Babin, excuse me. Wilcoxon. Rodriguez to Mickelson. Shot wide. 14-10 left to go in the third. Still no score. Nice poke check away. Puck goes back into the neutral zone. Wilcoxon puts it back in the corner. Babin gives chase. Kersen gets to it for the Flyers. Passes it over to Gargon. Sorry about that, guys. Here's Harich. Cross. Puts a shot on net. Save made. Shot. Save made. Another save. Shot. That shot hit the post. Larson's shot deflected. Lots of action around the net. Kept in the zone by Watterson. Puck goes down. Icing is the call. Nice job by Salita, standing tall in the goal for the Flyers. Faceoff will be to the right of Salita. There's a chance here. Harich poked away. It was a 1-on-4. Knocked away. It goes underneath Harich's stick. Nichols gets to it. Hit by, clipped by Olsen. Perkis to Olsen. They wave off icing. Getting to it in the corner, number 19. That's Westerman. Puck's going to go all the way down, and it's going to be an icing. Face off to the right of Salito. Goes all the way back into the Coyote zone. Play by Rodriguez. There's a shot deflected by his own teammate. Shot towards the net. Blocked by Gregorio. Here's Gibbs. Over to Rodriguez. Past Timovic. Picked up by Gore. Back over to Gibbs. 11:10 left for third period. Shot! Save made by Salita. Here comes Koch and the Flyers. Knocked away. Here comes Phelps. Takes a shot up into the net. Face off to the left of Salita. 10:48 left in the third. No score. Face off won by the Flyers. With a 2-on-4. Could not get a shot off. Here's Matthews, takes a shot. Deflected at the last second by the Coyotes. Matthews keeps it in the zone. Back in the neutral zone, Curson. Somehow no offsides. It's going to be an icing call. Face-off will be to the left of Salita. 10:02 left in the third. Couldn't quite get it towards the net. Kept in by the Coyotes. Puck's going to go all the way down into the Coyote zone. No icing. Here's Mickelson crossing. Flyers have done a good job of keeping the Coyotes nowhere near the net. Puck's going to go down. Icing is the call. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Rodriguez puts it in the corner. Gregorio for the Flyers. Taken away by Harich. Here come the Flyers. It's a 3-on-2. Here's Grant. Shot. Save made. Stick save made by Gerhardt. Kept in. Here's Gregorio. His shot gets deflected. Gregorio's going to slam it into the corner. Here's Harich. Poked away by Gregorio. Taken away by Gore. Here's Rodriguez. Goes into the Philly zone, played by Gregorio. And a shot wide, it's the side of the net. Here comes the Flyers. Poked away nicely by Gore. Back into the neutral zone. Picked up back into the neutral zone by the Flyers. Curson dumps it into the corner. Here's Gore. 7:20 left. Harich back in the zone. Here is Park to Nikosh. There's Curson behind the net for the Flyers. Spin move. 6:50 left. There's a shot attempt wide. There's Gibbs. Back into the Coyote zone. Play by Nikosh. To Olsen. Intercepted. Go towards the net. Played by Gerhardt. Coming up on 6 minutes remaining here in the third period. Still no score. It might be a situation where one goal might win it. There's a chance. Possible chance. There's a one-timer by Gibbs. Shot wide. There's Matthews. Dump it towards, and we have a whistle. We have an injured player. It is Salita, the goaltender. Favoring his shoulder. It's his left shoulder. He's going to stay in the hockey game. Face-off will be neutral zone in front of us. Won by the Flyers. Loved by Gerhardt, and we'll have another whistle. New combatants for face-off combatant for the Flyers. Face-off won by the Yotes. There's Gargan. Taken away by Phelps. In the corner. 5:20 remaining. Still no score. There's Perkis. Puts it towards the net. Nobody home. Shot! Blocked. Poke checked away by Olsen. Here come the Coyotes. Here's Olsen. As Grant lost his stick. He goes back to the bench. There's a chance for Mickelson to Phelps. Pass for Phelps too long. There's Babin. Tried to find Phelps. That goes underneath his stick. Phelps gets it back. Taken away by the Flyers. There's Phelps. Babin in the corner. Phelps. Rodriguez. Take away by the Flyers. Icing is the call. Face-off will be to the left of Gerhardt. 3:55 remaining here in the third period. Still no score. Goalies have been great for both teams today. Gore behind the net, taken away by Norton. Very clean game as well. Only 3 penalties so far. Mickelson to Babin. Corner for Wilcoxon. To Gore. Stays in the zone. Shot wide. Gore gets it back. Wilcoxon puts it in the corner. Three minutes left in the period. All the way around, play by Babin. Gore, back to Babin. Back to Gore. There's a wave off icing. Coming up on 2.5 left. Mickey tried to keep it in the zone. Could not do it. Goes back into the zone. A chance for the Flyers. The shot's deflected. There's a chance. A shot covered by Gerhardt. Fans are getting restless. They want to see a goal. Going to be honest, I want a goal too. Because if we see one goal, that might win the game. Here come the Yotes. Back come the Flyers the other way. 1-on-1. Shot wide. 2 minutes left. Still scoreless. Here comes Gibbs. He's going to put it on net wide. Gibbs will get it back. Here's Perkis. In traffic. And Salita makes the save and a goal! Coyotes get on the board first at 15:23 of the third period. Chase Olsen with the goal, 1-0 Coyotes. We finally see a goal. It's 1-0 Coyotes. Chase Olsen from right by the Flyers bench puts it home.
Number 8, Chase Olsen. The assists are credited to number 64, Ryder Gibbs, as well as number 10, Ethan Himovich. Time of that goal comes at 15:23 in the third period. That's Olsen from Gibbs and Himovich at 15:23.
Ryder, Gibbs, and Evan Himovich get the assists on the goal by Chase Olsen. We got a minute and a half left. Salita has not been pulled yet. Face-off won by the Flyers. Here's Gregorio. Salita still hasn't been pulled yet, but he's on the move. He's moved closer. Puck goes high in the air. Minute 12 left. 1-0 Coyotes. Here's Gregorio. There's a chance. Shot wide.
1 minute remains in regulation.
Minute remaining. Here comes Wilcoxon. Poke checked away. Still, he hasn't been pulled yet. Here's a chance. Shot wide. Very surprised that Salita has not been pulled yet for an extra attacker. Goes around in the corner. 25 seconds left. There's a shot. Crease comes loose. Nope. Crease was loose first. This is the right call. The crease was loose first before the puck crossed the net and the whistle blew. So that is the right call. Some of the Philly fans are complaining, but this is correct. The crease came loose and the whistle blew a good second before the puck crossed. 18 seconds left. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Great job by Harlan to get the puck back in, but too bad it's icing. They're going to keep Salita on the ice. Now they're going to pull him. 6th skater on the ice for the Flyers. 12 seconds left. Timeout taken by the Coyotes. With 12 seconds left, we'll be back in a minute. Salita. Face off. Won by the Coyotes. That's big. That probably going to wrap it up in this game. Final score, 1-0. Coyotes get the win over the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. Chase Olsen scores at 15:23 of the third period with 1:37 left, assisted by Ryder Gibbs and Evan